Roaring Spring could have its own Alp. Now, I have presented, I don't know, maybe a dozen videos, maybe not that many, about the Alps of Europe, of Switzerland, Austria, and Germany, France, as offering examples of things that Roaring Spring could learn from. And that's all been above board. I mean, I'm saying it from experience, I've documented and all that. But when I've used the term Alp there, I'm referring to the mountains, famously known as the Alps, all through Western Europe, or southern and Western Europe. But there's another definition of an Alp. An Alp in Switzerland or in the Alps is a highland pasture. It's where the livestock are taken in the spring, and they stay there through the summer, and then in the fall they come back down to the valleys because it's too cold up there for them to winter. But there is lush growth up there during the spring and especially summer. Those are the Alps. Well, Roaring Spring could have its own Alp in that sense. And I'm serious about this. One of the rumors that went around about the future of the cleanup site, the Roaring Spring paper mill cleanup site, 350 some acres, was that the mountain part would be sold to the Pennsylvania Game Commission. Well, if that were to happen, and it could still happen. They're just rumors have been circulating like crazy, and it was just one of the rumors, I think. But if that were to happen, that land would essentially become public land, and hikers could go on there. They wouldn't be trespassing up on that mountain. I'm talking specifically about the mountain that you see when you're standing in the parking lot for the Vault or the Spring Dam Brewery, where the department store used to be, and DM Bear's grist mill. When you look at that mountain, which was severely logged this winter, but it was not clear cut. And I'm quite sure that the logging was very well done, as that kind of logging can be. And now it shocked the Borough, the people that live down there, to see their mountain go bare like it did in the winter. But the winter is the time to do logging from times way past. That's the best time because the sap is down in the ground. That's the time you want to harvest your trees. And from what I could see, they did a good job, and I even was led to believe that they pollarded it, by which I mean they didn't cut the stumps right down to the ground to let it regrow fast. Well, now it's coming into leaf, and that bare mountain is going to turn a light green, and you can see that they left trees, and you can also imagine that there's open space under trees in shade up there. Well, what I'm getting at is for a year or so, it's fine if nothing is done. Just let it go. That's probably fine. But after that, it's going to start to come back in brush so thick that people are not going to be able to walk through it. Well, about a year from now, or a little less, will be, or next winter, I guess I'd say, would be the time to start. And all you would need is these, and volunteers, hikers up there, carrying these. And if they would carefully prune much of what comes back, and make it into such a way that there are paths to walk along. The thing to do would be to have surveyors, or a surveyor, go out there and run perfect contour lines, so the public would hike up on either side of that tract, and then by a trail or by one of the roads that's there, and then go across the track on a dead level path that surveyors have laid out. And as they go, just freely use these so that it stays open. so that they could walk through that. And when they get to the far side, go up to the next one, start back, hike along, and they would be able to do that still with a glorious view of Roaring Spring below them and Morrison's Cove in the distance. Now, if they did that, they would have it under control. After that, goats would be the thing to take up there. And you wouldn't have to fence it if you would have a goat herd, a goat herd, a person in charge of the flock of goats. The goats would stay together. They'd stay with the goat herd. And the goat herd could take them up in the morning, bring them down in the evening, and the town of Roaring Spring, the residents of Roaring Spring, could come to regard their herd really as theirs, their goats. It could certainly be arranged that way legally. And what about the hay in the winter? Well, there's part of the system there too. Down in the valley, in the Alps, the hay is being made all the time. And in the winter, when the animals don't go up to the Alp, they're kept down there and they're fed that hay. Well, with what's coming, with the price of fuel, which is not going to be going down, not permanently, and maybe not down at all, people are going to get more and more in a pinch of keeping their lawns all perfectly mowed. Code says it can't go any higher than something or else they're going to get fined. It doesn't have to be that way. You could change that code and let that grass grow into hay. I've seen it right in the center of Lausanne, Switzerland, right in among public buildings. They don't mow the grass like Americans have this fetish of an American lawn, which is an ecological disaster. Those lawns could become hayfields in effect. And you just let the hay get about that high, and then you mow it, you let it dry, you hay make on your own backyard. And that hay would then feed the community's goat herd. Now, this may sound fantastical, but I don't think it is. I think that's perfectly realistic. And it could be part of a future Roaring Spring which thinks of itself so differently. Now, this is my lying hat. When I put this hat on at the beginning of a video, you're going to be able to count on the fact that I'm telling you fiction. I'm making up a story. I don't know if I'll leave it on the whole time. Might put it on backwards. But anyway, this is going to be an indicator that Frank is spinning a tale. And I'm going to spin a tale related to Roaring Spring. But that's coming soon. But this is not a tale. This could be. Roaring Spring could have its own Alp. Bye for now.